Hi, my name is Denison. I'm a Calgary police officer for the last 24 years, and I am finding myself in a position now where I have to choose between getting this miracle jab that the government is touting or possibly lose my job.
Good afternoon. I'm Melanie Risden with the Western Standard. That's Constable Brian Denison from the Calgary Police Service, a 24-year veteran who's now been put on leave because of his feelings around the policies for the vaccine mandates that are coming down through CPS. Because he recorded that video, he's also been charged with discreditable conduct. And this is the first time Constable Denison has agreed to speak with media. And we're thankful he is joining us this afternoon to fill us in on how things have been going and give us an idea of really his story. Thanks for joining us today, Constable Denison, and just fill us in how things have been going for you for the last week or two.
Things have been going good. I've been overwhelmed with the support that people have shown me from across Calgary, Canada, and actually the world. So it's really good. I'm not here to get people's support. I'm here more to support people. And I want to be able to support people to be able to come out and to really be able to stand up for their freedoms and their rights in this world.
Yeah, interestingly, it is International Human Rights Day, so good day to have this conversation, I would say. What you've been dealing with over the last couple of weeks with your work, with being a police officer and opposing the mandated vaccines, it's got to be quite difficult when you're sort of a person of the law and working hard to uphold the law, but yet feeling like this mandate is somehow against rights and against freedoms for Canadians.
Yeah, it has been difficult for sure. You're kind of stuck in this different world where you're having to uphold the laws that the government has put into place. Well, they're not laws, they're mandates. And even though you don't feel that it's the right thing to do, you're bound by being a police officer and the oath that you took. However, that oath that you took is to uphold the law. And if they're giving out unlawful orders, those aren't things that police officers should be upholding. So I find myself in that position where I had to choose between what I thought was right, and I think that my stance is what is right in this world.
Were there many amongst you that you knew of on the force that felt the same and perhaps, gave in because they needed to keep their job, or what was the sense around those you worked with?
There are many people that do not want to get the jab, if you want to call it that. They don't want to have that to be part of their employment to keep their job. And I know of a lot of them within CPS that did not want to partake in that. And unfortunately, there's been so much push to get people to do it. And with that stuff held above their heads about keeping a job, a lot of people did go out and get it and did comply with that. And that's unfortunate that people did that. And it was not what their free will was telling them to do. They did not want to do that, but they did it simply to keep their job.
Now, you've been a police officer for 24 years. I believe you were, 1 year from retirement?
Right. It's almost exactly 1 year. It will be next year that I could retire with 25 years of service.
And tell me about your service. What kinds of departments did you work in? I know that you were in the hate crimes unit for some time.
Yes, so I started out in District 3. I worked there for approximately 7.5 years. And then I went to District 4, and I worked there for a number of years as well. Then I took on the hate crimes role, which I worked in for 3 years before returning back to the street again. So my years of service on the street alone, just answering calls, is 21 years, and then I worked for 3 years within hate crimes.
And so those 24 years, sum them up. I'm assuming that this was a very rewarding job for you.
I wanted to be a police officer ever since I was in grade 3, and it took me until I was 34 years old to realize that dream. So this is something that I have always wanted to do, and I've been passionate about doing this job. I started when I was 34. I'm 58 now, so I've done most of my life being a police officer. So it becomes part of who you are, and being a police officer has always been something that I took great pride in, and it's always been something that I'm the person who wants to help somebody, and when I can be of help, that's where I found a lot of my worth, is being a police officer and being able to be there in those situations where people didn't know how to handle them, or they needed someone to come and rescue them. And that was very rewarding for me. I'm not a limelight kind of guy. I would go in and I would do my job, and then I would change out of my job, basically, hang up my job in my locker, and then I'd go back to being just Brian again.
Now, I understand the latest I've heard is that internally you have been charged with discreditable conduct. How are things with that?
Yeah, it's been insubordination and discreditable conduct under the Police Act, and that is still ongoing. So there's not a whole lot I can say about that. I don't know what CPS is actually planning to do. I'm just waiting to hear what their next steps are, and then I'll just move forward with that as it comes up.
Explain to me why you're making this stand. Why is it so important to you, Brian?
It's important because it's the right thing to do. Seeing people and their rights and their freedoms taken away from them over a virus that has been proven to be, well, the evidence out there is great on both sides. However, if you take a look at it like a police officer does, and you're looking at both sides, and you take both sides of that information and you put it together, and you come up with that decision of exactly what's happening. There is a lot of talk out there that this is so survivable, and to be able to take away people's freedoms over this and their rights, and then it is a travesty to justice. Really, it really is not what we should be doing as a people. We should be supporting each other. We should not be dividing.
What do you foresee coming? Do you see it getting worse? Do you see it getting better? What are your thoughts?
Well, I see. When I made that video, it was back in September, and I saw it getting worse. And that's why I said, come Christmas, the world will be ugly, is kind of what I said, I think. And I'm just seeing things that are happening in other provinces around the world, and it is getting worse. I know there's hope out there, and I know the more people that get together, stand up, and actually take back their freedoms, because they have been taken away from us. They have been lessened. Those freedoms that we have as Canadians, as citizens of the world, other countries, have all been taken back from us. We need to take those back from those that have done that.
Right. Now, this is the first time you have spoken with media. I'm curious if you're willing to share what kind of a toll this has been on you.
Again, I'm not a limelight guy. I don't do many stand up in front of people talking. That's not who I really am. It has taken a toll on my family, just by having my name out there, and that video that went viral, which it was never intended to be, but I'm glad it has, because what it has done is it has provided support to other people and helped people to come out and start speaking up for themselves. Believe it or not, I've had more people reach out to me in support than anybody reach out to me that I'm doing something that they don't believe is right. So it has taken a toll just by it's kind of thrust me into the bit of the limelight, and I'm having to figure out where I land and the lay of the land on exactly how I move forward. But that's not going to deter me from continuing on with this.
Now, you know that we, as coverage, we told your story and we shared your video, and I did indicate to you that we ended up getting banned from YouTube for airing the video. However, they have reversed that decision, and our video of you talking from your cruiser is back up on our website, and we have our full channel back again. But that was kind of an interesting turn of events. You know, even just trying to cover the story, the censorship is incredible these days.
It is. I think that's part of the problem, is that things are so censored, and the media is so filtered in what they're putting out to the general public that they don't get the full picture. And that is the problem, is that regular people are only seeing one side of the equation. They're not able to see both sides. And if you were, it would be as clear as day. If the news media would actually report on everything like yourselves, then it's out there. People can make up a properly informed decision.
Yeah, I've actually followed some of the coverage from some of the mainstream media of your story, and it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that it feels as though you didn't get a fair shake to tell your story. So that's why we wanted to speak with you and you know, hear from you and hear your reasonings. Everybody has a why, and we think that's an important thing behind our decisions. So thank you for sharing your story with us and for talking about this a bit further. What's next for you, Brian?
Well, I'll wait and see what CPS has to say about me. On Sunday, I'm going to be speaking, not a big speech, just a little speech at a place called Okotoks. It's called Foothills Freedom Protest. And I'll be one of the speakers, I guess. And it'll be my first, not only with you, but it'll be my first appearance of helping others to stand up for their freedoms.
Right. And you said that's this Sunday in Okotoks at, was it 1 p.m.? 1 o'clock.
Yeah, 1 p.m.
Okay. Now, I just have a question too. If the CPS comes back and you know, allows you to continue to work, do you have an interest in doing that, or?
I do. I am a police officer, and I would do that job again. On the other hand, I have a new role. It's almost, I've been put into a new role, and I would also welcome that as well as a challenge in my life, and I would take that on as well. And so yeah, maybe, but we'll see which role has the biggest capture on my life and how I want to proceed. I think it's for people's freedoms as far as I'm concerned.
Well, Brian, we hope you will stay in touch with us and keep us abreast of what comes from the CPS and the decisions that are being made at this stage for you. And again, thank you so much for taking the time and you know, trusting that we would allow for you to tell your story with us.
Thank you, Melanie. I appreciate it.